Here are some crazy thoughts that'll change the way you see the world. Your body is a self-repairing meat machine piloted by an electric brain that runs on food, controlled by a consciousness that has no idea where it came from. The brain doesn't know what it is, but it did give itself a name. Right now, you're the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be. Every decision you've ever made was influenced by something you didn't choose. If the universe was infinite, somewhere out there, an exact copy of you is living an entirely different life. Your dreams are just alternate realities your brain creates and deletes every night. There was a moment in your life when you played outside with your friends for the very last time and none of you knew it. Every single moment in history that you've ever read about happened in what someone thought was a normal day. If your parents never met, you wouldn't just not exist. You'd never even have been an option. If you stopped thinking, you wouldn't exist anymore. You are made of atoms that used to be inside of stars. The atoms in your body are billions of years old, and they will outlive you. The voice inside your head has been speaking to you since birth, and it never shuts up. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, flying around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour, yet you feel completely still. And some people also don't believe that's true. At some point in your life, someone unknowingly saw you for the last time. If time travel is possible in the future, where are all the time travelers? There was a time when your parents put you down and never picked you up again. That's my I have a 1-year-old dad cry.
The power of time. Here you can see what happens to a penny over the span of 100 years. This is insane. This man played Pac-Man so much that the game got permanently burnt into the screen of his TV. This is New York before and after power washing the buildings, and you can actually see the real color of what the buildings are supposed to look like. This barber has been in business so long that the metal wore down where he walks every day. And this guy had the same wallet for so long that his driver's license photo imprinted on the plastic.
There's a new movie about a serial killer whose weapon of choice is sharks. From the producers of Longlegs and the Monkey, Dangerous Animals is a new horror movie starring Jai Courtney as a shark-obsessed serial killer. It's the first ever movie that includes a serial killer who uses sharks as a weapon. The plot sounds so interesting, and I'm excited to see where it goes, especially since it's also by the same director who made The Loved Ones, which is one of my favorite horror movies, so I have a feeling it's gonna be good. Dangerous Animals will be in theaters on June 6th, but before it comes out, let's watch the trailer together.
People don't understand the hierarchy of animals in this world. They don't think with their brains, they think with their guts. Now what your guts understand is 300 razor-sharp teeth, tearing flesh from bone. Welcome aboard.
Imagine being a delivery driver and then all of a sudden you become a multimillionaire after picking up a Starbucks order. Michael Garcia was picking up a coffee order at a drive-thru at Starbucks in LA when a hot drink fell on his lap. You can actually see his reaction on surveillance, and he even drives off because he accidentally hits the gas. Michael suffered severe burns, disfigurement, and nerve damage to his genitals. His lawsuit also states that he now has to deal with physical pain, mental anguish, loss of enjoyment of life, humiliation, inconvenience, grief, physical impairment, anxiety, and the list goes on. Now, Starbucks, their policy is that once their employee hands over the drink to the customer, they're now no longer responsible for anything that happens. But in this case, the employee, and you can actually see it in the surveillance video, she did not properly place the drink in the holder, so when she handed it over to Michael, one of the drinks fell while the other drinks did not. And Michael's lawyers were able to prove this in court. Michael, this delivery driver, ended up winning the lawsuit. He won $50 million in damages. Even though that's an insane amount of money, I still think it's justified, and I'll tell you why. Apparently the photos of the damage down there was shown, and it's pretty bad. Starbucks, on the other hand, came out with a statement, and they said that they don't believe they were at fault and that the damages awarded to Michael were excessive, and they plan to appeal the verdict.
top 3 police officers who actually encountered demons. A retired law enforcement officer named Michael said that he remembers going on a call many years ago for an elderly person needing medical assistance. He said that they arrived at the scene to find an elderly woman sitting in a chair experiencing some difficulty breathing. They assessed her and determined that she needed to be transferred to a hospital. He remembers comforting her and telling her that everything was going to be fine and that she was going to get the care that she needed at the hospital. Then he said that he turned around and he started walking away when all of the sudden this very deep demonic voice came out from deep within her. He said it sent chills up his back and the hairs on his neck stood on end. He said that he turned around and looked at her and it was not the same old lady that he had been speaking to minutes before. Her face had transformed and he couldn't make out what it was saying, but he said that just as quickly as it came, it left. He wasn't sure if anyone else there heard what he did. She was then transported to the hospital from there, and Michael said that he didn't speak of this to anyone. He said that years later, though, he encountered one of the other officers from that call, and he came up to him and brought up the incident and said that he had witnessed the same thing that Michael did. The other officer said that it freaked him out so bad and that he knew it was demonic.
Another day, another celebrity is arrested in Dubai. Rawan bin Hussein. She's the most popular, the biggest Kuwaiti model. Pretty much one of them.
What could have happened to this Washington, D.C. intern? 24-year-old Chandra Levy was from Modesto, California when she left her hometown to pursue an internship in Washington, D.C. It was April of 2001 and she was hoping to launch a career in public service. Chandra was associated with then Congressman Gary Condit, and there was speculation that they were having an affair. On May 1st, just the next month, Chandra was reported missing by her parents because they couldn't reach her for a couple of days. When her apartment was searched, it showed recent activity as her computer was open and there was half-packed bags. It was revealed that Chandra had been jogging in Rock Creek Park the day she went missing. Investigation regarding her disappearance quickly escalated once the media was fixated on her connection with Gary. At first, Gary did not want to discuss any kind of relationship that they may have had, but eventually he admitted that they did have an affair, but he denied any involvement in her disappearance. With Gary admitting to an affair, the media went crazy. In May of 2002, Chandra's remains were found in Rock Creek Park. Because her remains were found about a year later, the evidence was limited due to decomposition. In 2010, Ingwar Gwandike, an undocumented immigrant, had violently attacked many women in the same park where Chandra's remains were found. Because of this, he was convicted of Chandra's murder. His conviction was based on circumstantial evidence and a fellow inmate who said that he admitted to the crime. However, once the verdict was met with skepticism by many, they felt like they didn't really have any concrete evidence that he actually did this. In 2015, his conviction ended up being overturned. As of today, no one really knows what happened to Chandra or who did this to her. There's many speculation of what could have happened, but no one really knows for sure.
Amazing things that were invented by kids. George Nissen invented the trampoline at age 16. The popsicle was invented by Frank Epperson at age 11 because he left his drink out overnight with a stick in it and it happened to freeze. Joseph Bombardier invented the snowmobile at age 15. Earmuffs were invented by Chester Greenwood at age 15 because he got painfully cold ears one night whilst he was ice skating and thought of the idea. 15-year-old Louis Braille invented Braille due to an eye injury that left him blind in one eye at age 3.
This Ukrainian model was found on the streets of Dubai with her limbs broken and her spine broken too. Her body was near lifeless, and this was after a hotel party in Dubai. She's had to undergo 3 surgeries so far, and she's undergoing a 4th one soon. She literally cannot speak, according to her mother. She can't move her mouth. The sad thing is, this girl is only 20 years old. She had been missing for about 8 days before her family and friends got suspicious and reported it because she missed her flight going to Thailand. She was attending an event for a modeling business, and the 2 men said, okay, that's fine. She's going to spend the night at the hotel, then we're going to take her out, do the photo shoot, everything like that, to her mother. Now, obviously, those 2 men were lying and up to something sinister. She went missing on March 9th. She was found on March 19th, 10 days later, just bloodied and just everything broken. Now, like I said, she's going to undergo a 4th surgery soon. She is in critical condition right now. She has no documents, no phone, no nothing. They took everything from her, whoever did this. Now they're hoping she recovers soon so she can actually explain what happened in this ordeal and maybe catch some perpetrators. What do you guys think happened to her? What are your opinions on this story?
Here are some crazy thoughts that'll change the way you see everything. Your birthday isn't when you became you, it's just when you were first seen. There's a last time you picked up a childhood toy and you didn't know that it was the last time. The stars you see at night might not exist anymore, but their light is still traveling to you. The world did not pause before you were born, and it won't after you're gone. Every breath you take contains atoms that have passed through millions of other people. You don't remember being born, you won't remember dying. Your brain edits out most of reality, and you'll never know what you're not seeing. Somewhere in the world right now, someone is experiencing your exact same moment. Your thoughts are just electricity bouncing around inside a brain made of fat and water. There are more dead people than living people, but we live in their world. You never actually touch anything. Your atoms repel each other before making contact. Your pet doesn't know you exist outside of their experiences with you. Every single thing you've ever owned will one day belong to someone else, be thrown away, or be forgotten. There's no such thing as silence. Your ears are just limited in what they can hear. Aliens are more likely to study our ruins than making contact with us, if they haven't already. There are places on Earth that no human has ever seen. A lot of them, actually. A person born today will live long enough to see humans colonize another planet. Hopefully. The person who will attend your funeral is alive somewhere right now. The one person. Oh, dang, that sucks. The letters you are reading are just symbols your brain was trained to understand. You only experience time in one direction, but it exists all at once.
A 14-year-old ran away from a group home and was found dismembered in trash bags. Emily Pike was staying at a group home in Mesa, Arizona when she ran away on January 27th. Because the Amber Alert system doesn't include indigenous people, there was no alert out. And the group home said they followed all protocol, but her mom said that she wasn't notified of Emily's disappearance until a week later. On February 14th, her dismembered remains were found in contractor trash bags near a reservation border 100 miles from where she was last seen. Her face and head showed signs of trauma, and her arms and hands were never found. And a weird detail is that an indigenous man was found shot in his car on almost this exact same spot in 2021, and that murder is also unsolved. Her roommate at the group home said that Emily was taking guitar lessons and left to go see a boy that she liked. Meanwhile, her parents say she likely ran away because she wanted to visit them. Emily is unfortunately one of many indigenous people whose lives are ended violently. And indigenous women and girls are murdered at a rate 10 times higher than other ethnicities. And hopefully the media attention and public outcry helps bring leads in the case. But in 2016, the National Crime Information Center reported that there were 5,712 reports of missing indigenous women and girls. But the Federal Missing Persons Database logged only 116 cases. Officials say that there are no suspects in Emily's murder at this time. I'm covering one unsolved case out of each of the 50 states, and this was my case for Arizona.
He took the life of his daughter because he was convinced she wasn't his. 20-year-old Marlon Rabanales and Olivia had a baby girl and lived together on Long Island, New York. Baby girl was born on January 1st of this year, so she was only a couple months old, but they seemed like a happy family. One day, Marlon started to have suspicions that Olivia wasn't being faithful to him and started to think that maybe their daughter wasn't really his. He started to become very frustrated and decided that he was just going to take it all out on baby girl. This resulted in him punching, slapping, and violently shaking baby girl. Because of this, she suffered ribcage injuries and a fractured vertebrae. Marlon then decided to call the police and tell them that baby girl had fallen down, but once they did an autopsy, they knew that there was more to the story and that he was lying. Marlon was arrested and is currently being held without bail, and it was also discovered that he had came into the United States illegally, so he may be in prison longer. Rest in peace to baby girl. She truly did not deserve that. She was only 2 months old. If you made it to the end of my video, let me know what you think down below about the case, and if there's any other cases you would like me to cover.
God damn! I don't know who this guy thinks he is, but Papa's looking so fucking good, man. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely going to miss Papa Emeritus IV, especially in his duck form. I mean, if you haven't seen all the amazing pictures and stuff that he did for Rolling Stones, I mean, good lord, this stuff is cool. Like, I sincerely need to know who did the costume on Papa Perpetuo, because good lord, is it awesome. I also love that they're calling him the Phantom of Rock, because this is very much giving Phantom of the Opera. Especially when the Phantom's in his Masquerade of the Red Death outfit. By the way, this is the Terror Thread shirt design that you can actually buy, so do it, because it's amazing. But it even seems like we're getting like hints of Freddy Krueger with this too, which I'm super stoked about, because this whole little casual hat fingernail outfit is fantastic. I'm just excited to see exactly what he brings out to the tour as well. Now, I have not read the entire article and interview in Rolling Stones yet, where Tobias talks about his life and specifically the tone and feel of what the new album Skeleton is going to be about. Also, if you haven't been consistently listening to the song Satanized in your car with full blaring audio, then you should. You'll probably feel better about life a little bit. Seriously, I am severely pumped for the new album to come out, which I definitely need to get merch for, and I wonder if they're going to make another ducky out of Papa Perpetua. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
These are 5 of the craziest ways that people have died in a horror movie, going from the least to the most crazy in my opinion. Disclaimer, these are all fictional depictions from movies and not real life. Coming in at number 5 is being turned into a human wax sculpture from House of Wax. If you've seen the movie, then you know how crazy this scene was. When this guy poked Sam Winchester in the face just a little bit, but because his face was already encased in wax, it just peeled off. Also, the contraption that the villain in this movie uses to turn people into human wax sculptures is literally an inescapable saw trap. But the next movie is equally as disturbing and insane. At number 4 is the reverse axe from When Evil Lurks. Let me know right now your guesses for number 1 and we'll see if you're right at the end of this video. When Evil Lurks had a bunch of really memorable scenes, but this one specifically really got to me. Just felt like it went on for such a long time and I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. How the wife was so quick to turn the axe on herself and just kept going on her own face. And this scene really doesn't shy away from anything, you see it all happen. Number 3 is from Sinister 2. I do think I recommend Sinister 1 more than Sinister 2, I think just comparatively the first one was better for me, but one of the home movies from Sinister 2 was both disgusting and unforgettable. The rat deaths, which I think is also a medieval execution method. Basically, the family members were tied down in a circle and had this device placed on their stomachs with a live rat inside of it. The device was then heated up so that the rat trapped inside of it would eat its way into the victim's stomach. First time I saw this scene, I was not prepared and I had nightmares for like a week. You knew this one was coming, and number 2 is getting chopped in half backwards from Bone Tomahawk. This scene actually goes way crazier than that, so let me explain. Not only were his friends forced to watch it all happen, but he was scalped first and then had his scalp stuffed into his mouth before he was turned upside down and divided. This scene is very reminiscent of what happened to Dawn in Terrifier. Speaking of resting in pieces, number 1 goes to getting eaten by cannibals piece by piece in the Green Inferno. This scene is iconically messed up and I have a feeling a lot of you probably guessed it would be number 1. This is the exact moment that Green Inferno went from 0 to 100 and you won't be able to unsee it. There's definitely a lot of creative and disturbing ways that people have been taken out in horror movies, so if there's anything you thought I missed, let me know and maybe I'll do a part 2. And don't forget to follow for more horror and movie content every single day.
We're going to talk about our experience with Joe Gatto.
Impractical Joker star Joe Gatto has been accused of doing inappropriate things with women again. This time the accusations come from these 2 girls who were teenagers at the time that this happened. So according to them, last year in December of 2024, they purchased tickets to see Joe Gatto and the meet and greet pass. Here's a photo from that meet and greet. One of the girls put it on her story and she started DMing with Joe. Afterwards, Joe allegedly sent the girls $35 for gas and Chipotle on Venmo. Afterwards, the girls attended another show and another meet and greet, and this time they took one of their dads to meet Joe. This time he allegedly invited them backstage, where they allegedly hung out in a small room with him and it got a little uncomfortable. Afterwards, they said that he began texting and messaging them constantly, and then he gave them free tickets and backstage passes to a third show. Here's a photo of them there, and they went backstage with him again. Except this time the girls said that he asked them to kiss multiple times. They claimed that he fed one of them mango with his fingers, and he asked them to pull up their shirts so that he could look at their stomachs, and afterwards he allegedly rubbed their stomachs up and down, making them incredibly uncomfortable. After this experience, he gave them $100. Oh yeah, and I forgot to add, he requested that they wear leggings. Afterwards, he bought them a hotel room close to his, and according to the girls, he began begging them for nudes, allegedly asked them to send him videos of them kissing, and tried as hard as he could to get them to come over. They said that they were creeped out by this behavior, and that they felt violated by someone they looked up to. So as you can see, some of these alleged screenshots are pretty creepy. And it should be noted that Joe was using, once again, vanish mode according to these girls, which is what his other accuser claimed he was using when he was DMing her. There definitely seems to be a pattern here. And if these screenshots are real, Joe definitely knew what he was doing. Also, here's a picture from one of the shows that one of the girls took, showing that this was December of 2024. Keep in mind, this was after Joe publicly claimed that he had reconciled with his wife and kids and gotten back together with them and was trying to rebuild his family. So if this is all true, I definitely think it's very, very creepy and inappropriate. You can have your own opinions about the whole thing, but you can't deny the fact that at the time he was trying to get back with his wife and be a better husband, while at the same time allegedly DMing these girls, asking them for nudes, asking them to come over and kiss him, and only God knows what would have happened if they would have gone over to that hotel room. According to the girls, also allegedly, I forgot to add this in, at one point Joe was allegedly trying to get the girls to come over to his hotel room late at night, and he claimed that his phone charger was across the room, and if they wanted to keep talking, they needed to come over to his hotel room to bring his charger over to him. According to the girls, he also allegedly said that he could sneak them into the hotel around the security and the, crew from his show. Keep in mind, these girls were teenagers at the time. I mean, they most likely still are teenagers since this video was posted recently and this happened just a few months ago. But if all this is true, things aren't exactly looking great for Joe Gatto. And it pains me to say that because I am a huge Impractical Jokers fan.